Okay, let's make it. Okay, let's make it. Okay, let's make it. Okay, let's make it.
How do the struggles for LGBT rights fit into the struggles of communities of color?
Well, LGBT people are in communities of color. Those are not mutually exclusive categories. So I think that struggles for LGBT rights increasingly are being linked with struggles of communities of color by LGBT people of color. And I think you see LGBT people of color on the forefront of lots of struggles for justice, not just LGBT justice, but racial justice, economic justice, educational justice. And I also would say that's not a new phenomenon, right? But I think historically that's been the case, but for many different reasons was silenced.
They're deeply connected. I think they're connected on the level of the systems we need to change, that we need to reform the criminal justice system in ways that will not target communities of color, not target gay and lesbian people.
The fight for people of color is the marginalized and the disenfranchised, right? And that's what we're speaking to. And to me, like when I look at the movement behind the LGBTQ community, it's like this thing of we are here. And behind all the movements of people of color, if it be a Palestinian movement, if it be folks fighting for immigration rights, it's this constant resounding thing that we are worthy, our voices matters. We have a place in this society, we are in the threading of this quilt that makes America. And in that, we have a voice and we have a stance. So I don't see the LGBTQ fight and struggle as something different. I see it as a human rights, a fight for human rights,
It's definitely not one struggle or one fight. We're fighting for the right to a full life. And sexuality or how we practice or present ourselves is definitely a part of that. What do you think are the most pressing issues in LGBT activism?
Adequate housing for the young person that's been kicked out of their home. The criminalization of trans people, of queer people of color, the education, the access to health care for QPOC and trans people of color. These are immediate issues that we have to talk about before we get to the issues of privilege like marriage equality.
It's difficult to find a job if you're trans or queer and that's something visible that people can see. I know that it's also difficult to just secure resources and try to live when people are judging you and discriminating against you because of your sexuality or your gender.
I talk to a lot of young people of color that are queer. It's the policing of who they are and their bodies, right? Which kind of speaks to the broader issue of our community of always being policed, or our bodies are always being under attack.
Issues of safety and security. And when I say safety and security, I really mean the ability to walk out of your house, the ability to socialize at night and not be attacked by a person, or not be profiled by a police officer as a sex worker if you're not a sex worker. Or if you are a sex worker, being able to be protected in the work that you do, right? And so like those issues of safety and security, I think are extremely important.
I think that the pressing issue is us coming together as a collective and us coming together and educating each other on how we can evolve and how we can make that change and what the priorities really are. Right now you can be fired for being LGBT in many states in this country, but yet we're working on marriage. We value marriage, marriage definitely validates us, but what is marriage when I don't have a job and I can't provide for my family?
I think more communities of color need to see examples of folks reimagining identities and reimagining societies. And it's going to, when that happens, it'll have a big impact on communities of color.
As an organization, the struggles of LGBT identified folks are the struggles of the people in our organization. Not everyone in BYP 100 identifies as LGBT or Q. However, all members of our organizations are committed to working in a space that is building both a Black queer and Black feminist politic. And so it's for us, it's not a add-on, it's a part of who we are. So LGBT rights, for us, there's no way for Black people to be free in this country or in this world without also the liberation of our LGBTQ brothers and sisters throughout the movement.